Jack Skillbeck bowling from the far end. Skillbeck has bowled 2 dots so far. I'm joined by Mortimer, Secretary of Blacktown Cricket. Morts, great day for Blacktown and a great day for grade cricket.
Except for the weather, but definitely a good day for cricket. Cricket's definitely the winner today. I believe it's Foster and Doonan on batting, is that correct? And Foster on strike?
Foster on strike to Skillbeck. Let go through to the keeper. Yes, it's not the best weather, but let's just fingers crossed. It's only a 2020. Let's hope we get a full match in and see how we go.
Well, at least with a bit of cloud cover around, it's not going to be the batsman's paradise of just hitting runs off a road. It could be a bit of sideways movement and bring everyone into the game.
What would you say a pass score would usually does a bit early. Being only a 2020, what would you say a pass score would be today?
Well, off this year so far, 130, mid 130s is generally a winning score. Playing against Newcastle a few weeks ago, who had quite a good side, and it was round about that score. But look, I think with the weather today, 120 could quite well be enough.
Skillback's put away by Foster over mid wicket. They'll push for 3. It could get there.
I think the dew on or the rain on the ground's pulled that up.
They'll get 3, so it'll bring. It's actually. I think it's Josh Hilder on strike now. I'm not sure. Souter. I'm pretty sure it's him. It is Keswati, his father. Held on to it there, so first ball, Josh Hilder's caught it mid-off. One that's stuck in the wicket, I'd say, Morts.
Looks like the wicket is a bit too pace, because you could see with that short ball that they bowled to Foster, it just sat up nicely for him. And I think Hilder was looking for it to come through a bit lower, and it's popped up on him. So it was actually Hinton, sorry, not Foster. Foster striding out to the centre as we speak.
Foster is one of the key men for Blacktown. If you can get going in this 20 overs, be exciting for all to watch.
Definitely,
he does need a big score, I think.
He's the senior player, one that's represented the club through the New South Wales Futures League with both bat and ball. But yeah, as one of the more experienced players in the team, he definitely needs to score a few runs today.
Blacktown 1 for 3 after 1. Nathan Hinton will face.
Stickland's taken the ball from the commentary box end.
Yeah. Stickland to Hinton.
Do you think Foster will be happy with us comparing him to Hinton with looks?
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell these days. I would have opted for the numbers and names just purely for the commentary reasons, but yeah, gone are the days of the numbers and names.
I think we need to get in contact with that Blacktown secretary. Poor work by him.
I think but both clubs may be a bit low on funds, might not be able to afford the print.
So if there's, watch this ball. Hinton looks very confident today on the front foot.
Yeah, let's hope he gets a good score. He's been alright for him so far this season.
Speaking of funds, if there's any potential sponsors that would like to sponsor a great club like the Warriors out there, feel free to contact them.
Matt Foster backing up.
Another ball that seemed to hold up a bit, Jacko.
Yeah, it is a bit too paced out there. Let's just hope that the boys can post a decent total. I think you're right with the 120. Uh, always a bit easier to defend if you get the run.
Definitely the case, especially in 2020. Find the teams chasing, statistically wise, seldom get up.
Just a simple ring field, only the one slip and the short cover. That's a bit of a indication of what the wicket might be doing. Just holding up, not.
It's very straight field. They're looking to get him on the front foot and push to the offside, I'd say.
I think Gordon may be looking just to contain Blacktown to a low total and back their ability with the bat chasing later on, as they probably have seen over the past opening round of the competition. Once the first 20, 30 overs are done, it does flatten out to be quite a batsman's paradise. But yet again, it's a day where anything could happen.
Ooh, playing a miss there.
So just
did a bit off the deck there.
Just a quick single off the over. So 1 for 4.
Blacktown have had a couple of overs to look at the bowlers and see what the pitch is doing now. It's definitely time for them to try and manufacture a few runs with this strong offside field. Confident front foot shot straight to point. Well, Jacko, Gordon definitely are bowling to a plan here with a heavily stacked offside field. Oh, I don't think it'd be too long before, if they bowl a bit straighter, that Foster might step across and whip one through the onside.
Another good ball there by Skillbeck, beating the bat. Yeah, you're right. If they do straighten up, like in the first over, Hinton hitting over mid-wicket, I think that's where the runs will come for Blacktown. It is a very stacked offside field and will be tough to get through to pierce that gap. Played away to point. Yeah, Hinton has been the main contributor with the bat so far for Blacktown in the Provident Grey Shield. He scored the most runs and has a high score of 62. And Foster's up there with him. So these two are the ones to look at today and hopefully push further with those runs this year. Hinton goes straight and it's a single to mid-off.
Cut shot to mid-off there.
Yeah, maybe not straight enough to pull, but didn't quite get all of it.
Yeah,
Once again, the ball holding up.
Jacko, Foster and Hinton, the chief run scorers so far, with Matt Foster getting a first baller in one of his innings and taking 66 off the other. Nathan Hinton hitting a 62 and a 19.
Oh, beats the bat of Foster there. Skillbeck seems to be bowling well. He's bowling to his plan. I think he's realised anything too short is going to sit up, and after the first over, and now he's just starting to find his line.
He's trying to draw Foster forward here. He's getting a bit of movement off the pitch, which is causing Foster a bit of trouble. But
notice the 2 slips now for Skillbeck and not the short cover. Pushes a single to point. Good running. Ooh. Just the 2 off the over. Takes the score to 1 for 6. Blacktown after 3. So just the 150 over match and the 120-20 in the PG's competition. It's hard to get a gauge on some of the teams, especially with that 20-20 in there. Oh, beats the bat again.
And that ball, instead of popping up, kept quite low.
It's like it skidded through, Matt. And so a little bit of nightmares for the batsman when you don't know the pace of the wicket. It's pretty hard to get set. And I think Foster, if anyone, is going to adapt to it. I think it'll be him because he's a good batsman. So let's see over the next couple of overs if he can really get his eye in. And he goes over mid-off. It should plug in the ground. It's kicked on. They'll just get the 2, I think.
That's a good slide past the ball there.
No, they're going to come back for 3. So Foster in the 4th over has decided it's nearly time, and
you could see with that ball, Jacko, it's too short or too full. The ball's going to be dealt with quite severely here today. They just have to bowl that nice short of a length, draw the batsman forward to bowl to their field.
Ooh, the old French cut, my favourite shot down the fine leg. Hinton picks up a single. Yeah, I think there's a little bit more leniency for the bowlers if they can get in and around the right area. The pitch can do some of the work for them. Whereas when you're playing on a road, the margin for error is much smaller, and that will play in favour of the bowlers. But like you said, if it's too full or short, it'll be dealt with. Foster runs it down to third man. They push hard, and they're coming back. Good running.
Sharp running there by Foster.
It was a flat throw from third man, but I think he should have been pushing off the fence a little bit more. I think he might have been having a drink down there. Wasn't quite ready for that one.
In a 2020 match, you really need to be on your toes for every single ball.
It's full, and it doesn't quite pierce the extra cover. Yeah, you're right. Every run does count, and it's those little ones at the end of the game that you look back on and you think, well, if we picked up 5 or 6 extra singles, we might have won, because a lot of the games are decided within that 10 runs or 10 or 20 runs, and that sometimes comes down to win or lose. Foster plays it away just behind point for another single. So a good over there from Blacktown.
Putting pressure on the fielders with their quick singles.
That's 7 off the over, that one.
This bowler's not express with his deliveries, but he seems to be quite accurate.
Yeah, he hasn't taken a wicket. He's taken 1 wicket this so far in the PG's tournament. So he seems to just be one of those bowlers that tries to keep it a bit tight. And like we said, it's hard to get a gauge on players, especially with that 20-20 in there. His economic rate's the best of the bowlers from Gordon. Foster defends it back to Skillbeck.
In a 20-20 game, sometimes when you've got a wicket that's a bit too paced or could be a bit slow, bit of rain around, it's always an option to bring a slower bowler on with the new rock to save the ball coming through quicker and getting to the boundary quicker.
Yeah, I think the little seamers, that the little dibbly dobblies are the ones that are harder to get away, especially with a wicket like this and the overcast conditions.
Shame you're not still playing, Jacko. You could have been an opening bowler.
I did bowl a fair share of dibbly dobblies in 2020s and 1 days for Blacktown, and yeah, unfortunately I'm not out there, but much prefer it up here and undercover and doing this with you, Matty.
Is that due to a contract breakdown or just?
Some say they couldn't afford me. Some say I wasn't good enough. I think it was the latter. Good slower ball there by Skillbeck.
Nice change of pace.
3 dots. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Foster try and go large here. You don't usually see a player of his calibre face 3 dots in a 20-20, so let's see how he goes.
Well, knowing Matt Foster like I do, he spends 90% of his spare time in a gym. He'd be trying to use those forearms to hit straight, I'd say, if he over-pitches slightly.
Again, Skillbeck's been accurate this over, and that's four dots. You usually get that at least that one ball and over that you can put away. But let's just see if Foster can put it away here if it does come.
Lovely ground we've got here, Jacko. Unfortunately, there's a few locals here who are ruining it for everyone. That's not a local. Sorry, that's Blacktown skipper Nathan Souter, serial pest.
Played away again.
So on a normal day, I think that ball would have come through a lot quicker, and Foster would have put it somewhere over towards Doonside.
Or even over point. And yeah, you're right. It's just held up. And Skillbeck, he's one ball away from bowling a very rare maiden for a 2020, and that'll help the Gordon side.
Foster to go large here.
Through to the keeper. Well, the pressure did build, and Skillbeck's got his reward, and just reward actually, because that's great bowling. He's just tied him right down, and he's got the key wicket of Foster, and that'll be 2 for 13 now.
Definitely, you could see Foster didn't like the fact that there had been 5 dots in a row, and tried to really push that straight or towards over cover, and a little bit off the deck, and just caught the edge straight through to the keeper.
Blake.
Cuz.
Is that doing it now? Yeah. Can you just let us know who goes out? Because they're hard to pick. Just let us know who goes out next every time. Yeah, you don't usually see the vest option in the one days. You usually see the boys excited to wear the major sponsor on the jersey, but
definitely, and a very very warm welcome to major sponsors Bundu Khan. If anyone wants an Indian feed down at Harris Park, one of the best you can get.
I can't wait till they get a bit closer, Matty, and open up one close by. I don't mind a korma myself. I'm not a spice man, but I don't mind an Indian cuisine every now and then.
Word on the street is Camille, the owner and proprietor of the company, is actually sourcing out a restaurant location for Blacktown. So we'll have to get in there, Jacko.
I will be a regular, Matthew. And it's 2 for 13 yet. I'm on fire. Pink out.
You like Blake Cousins part 2?
Oh, and that's going to go all the way.
That's maximum. That's nearly taken an old man out.
That's almost hitting the Daniel Jackson stand there, and that is a great shot. That didn't look like any force at all from Hinton. He's just whipped it from probably middle and off, and he's just whipped it over mid-wicket. Like I said, almost hit the Daniel Jackson stand over there, the second little shed.
Yeah, I was just going to say that second little shed's actually a rubbish bin, Daniel.
It is, yeah. And, yeah, well, about 10 years ago, Matt, we took a couple of balls out there, and we were hitting the balls towards mid-wicket and see who can hit the shed, and whoever hit the sheds got to name their shed, and I actually hit the garbage bin. So
lovely.
It's a pity we can't sit there anymore, but yeah. Oh, and another one.
2 in a row.
That's a good shot, and it should go all the way. Two bounces. That is a lovely shot by Hinton.
Hinton looks like he's in control.
Nice
now.
and straight. The boys yelling out, "Run them!" and it's already at the fence. Little trick between the boys there, and I think Hinton's finally seeing him a bit better, and he's decided it's time to kick on a little bit.
Well, I think he's had
interesting
to
move. They've put a long on already, and third man's come up.
It's a very reactive play.
Yeah, well, one shot over mid-on, and they've dropped a guy back, so interesting.
First shot he's played straight over that area all day as well.
Would you have been a bit more persistent and stuck with the same field and tried to build the pressure again, or?
Well, this bowler's been bowling up in the slot and then throwing a bit of width in there to try and tempt them in the offside, and he's stepped across and flicked one for 6, and then made a rare error and over pitched and hit straight. I would have kept the pressure on.
I think it's not a bad move actually. I think with this bowler's pace, Stickland, I think it's just his pace isn't quite quick enough to have the third man down there, and just having just inside the ring, it's probably a good move.
Definitely.
This time pierces the offside
Cracking
field with a
shot.
great shot. Hinton's really starting to see the ball a bit better here. They're going to push for 3. Doesn't quite get to the boundary, and they'll push 3.
Fielder nearly headbutts the fence there. Could have had a nasty accident there.
Big over there for Blacktown. A much needed big over as well.
Definitely. Blacktown need to capitalise on that.
13
over
from
now.
it. 2 for 26 now, Blacktown. So Captain Tim Crawford has taken the ball from the far end.
He's probably seen that after a couple of a big over, it's time for the captain to take the reins and try and peg Blacktown back down.
I noticed in the statistics that we've been given, Matt, that Crawford hasn't bowled yet in the PG competition. So let's see how he goes today. He does play first grade as well. And he's one of their key men with the bat. Let's see if he can do it with the ball as well. Little inside edge there. Played away to short cover. Good fielding in the ring there.
Yeah, you need a good ring fielder. Blacktown sometimes have a ring fielder known as Kerrod Gordon. He loves being around the ring.
Yeah, he does. And unfortunately, Kerrod's just a little bit too old for PGs to be in the ring today. But he does get around the ring of the second grade every now and then, I heard. So there's a quick single there for Foster. Just pushed wide of mid-off.
It's actually Hinton. Foster's out.
Oh, Hintus. Mate, I'll tell you what. We need to invest in numbers and names. It's just... I did lapse in concentration there. That's my fault. And it brings Doonan to strike. Sponsored by Spartan, actually, Tim Doonan. I think, still.
Tim Doonan of doonanpt.com.au.
If you train insane or remain the same, apparently. That's the slogan there for Tim. Just opened up his new studio. Ooh. Played down to third man.
Popped a little bit
on the back
there.
foot. Picks up another single for Blacktown.
I think Tim's been instructing himself a little bit. Looks like he's either got some pec implants or he's got to build a bit upstairs.
Yeah, he would have had to do a fair few sessions to afford those pec implants. So I'd say he's been benching the house down, and he does look quite solid. He's always had a good solid build for a batsman, and let's see if it helps his power today. Hopefully it does. Oh, good ball by Crawford. That's just outside the off stump. Just drawing Hinton in here. It seems to be a bit more skid through for Crawford rather than just sitting up for the batsman. I think he's a bit more venom.
Crawford doesn't have a huge run up. It's more of a whipping sort of action with those last couple of steps. Can cause it to skid through a little bit sometimes. Sharp single there to Hinton.
Another single. That's 3 off the over. Takes the score to 2 for 29. How many overs is that? Gone? Sorry, man. 2 for 29? Yeah, off 8. Sorry. And that is another cracking shot by Hinton. This time through cover a bit straighter. And he's picked his spot perfectly because that's where the covers cart rolls out, and it's a bit flatter over there, and it's just flown to the boundary.
Yet again, bowler just over pitching a little bit. Just enough movement of error to allow Hinton to punch that through covers for a lovely 4.
Coach, is that still stickling bowl? So they drop mid off back now, so they're allowed 3 outside the circle. Oh, that is one of the slowest slow balls I've ever seen, but it's executed brilliantly and not put away by Hinton. Seems to be 4 outside the circle now. I'm not quite 100% on the rules of the T20 these days. They seem to change them every couple of years. So. And Hinton goes again. This time doesn't quite get all of it. Finally getting around there. Doesn't quite get it. Another boundary for Hinton.
Just as the rain starts to come in again here, Jacko, it's going to be a very frustrating day for both sides with forecasted rain on and off all day.
I think Mr. and Mrs. Duckworth and Lewis might be coming to play. A nightmare for some, but these days with the computer calculator makes scorer's job quite easy. And it seems to be coming down quite heavy now. And Hinton's gone again.
Absolute glorious shot there. Just to the other side of the Daniel Jackson stand.
A great shot. Flicked off his legs. He doesn't mind that shot. It's probably taken for about middle and off again.
For such a slightly built man, he does generate quite a lot of power off that flick.
Yeah, he is built like a straw, and it's a great shot. Goes to show it doesn't matter how big you are. Timing of a cricket ball could be done by anyone, and that was probably the best in the business so far today. Beautiful stroke over mid-wicket.
And club officials seem to be getting the covers ready. I think we'll be taking a break in play quite shortly.
That's 14 off the over so far. Let's see where Hinton goes now. Oh, it's another. It is a wide. So Sticks is starting to feel a bit of pressure here. He's copped it the last over, and he's copping it again now. And frustrating now with the ball. It's going to be quite slippery, and trying to execute those slower balls. It's a nightmare at the best of times. But when it's a bit slippery, Matt, it's makes the job even difficult. Another slower ball, and this time misfielded at point, and it'll just be a single to Hinton, taking it to 16 off the over.
Sorry, Jacko. Normally a very good fielding side, Gordon. They've made a few little slip-ups here in the field so far.
Probably due to the weather as well, Matt. It is tough when the ball's slippery. It's you don't know whether it's going to sit up or skid on or things like that. It's always tough to gauge where the ball's going to go in these wet conditions. Seems like they've got a lot back. They've got 5 players outside the ring, and very defensive field. Doonan strikes it down to deep cover for a single. An excellent over for Blacktown. I think that might be Stickland's last, actually, till later on, but we'll soon find out. We've managed to just hold off that little sprinkle, and players remain out there.
It's usually quite warm out here at Blacktown. Usually the rain evaporates before it actually reaches the ground out here.
That is true. They say it has to be really, really heavy rain to even hit the surface here, and the ground will probably still be dry actually because so bare out there. Oh, great ball!
Great ball by the skipper there. Drew Doonan forward. Just did enough off the deck, but just couldn't quite catch that edge.
So far, we've noticed that the batsmen that do get in, which is Hinton so far, if you get through that 3 or 4 over period, it comes a little bit easier. Short and wide, outside off. That's going to be 4. That's a great shot. Just backward a point, and it beats third man for 4.
was just about to say that Doonan, once he gets his eye in, is a very aggressive batsman and can really put a lot behind the ball. If these two can stay out for a significant amount of time, they could really rack up some runs here for Blacktown.
Pushed down the third man. Yes, Tim Doonan is a good batsman. He's been in the first grade, a regular first grader for a couple of years now, and also the wicketkeeper of this side.
Straight to point. Yeah, Jack, I remember when Tim made his first grade debut after I think about 4 or 5 centuries in second grade when you were covering it with Blacktown TV.
Yeah, it was back in the days of Blacktown TV. If you want to go on YouTube and search Tim Doonan, it's
Quite a highlights reel. There's another slower ball.
dropped
just,
it cover.
Just to the right of cover.
Wouldn't have
Left even.
wouldn't have been a bad catch there at cover, and struck very fiercely by Hinton. Yeah,
I think he misjudged the pace it was coming at him. He seemed to fall before the ball got to him.
which was a pretty good effort because it was travelling quite quick. Yes, Tim Doonan on YouTube actually, he's 100 against Bankstown. One of the best innings I've seen in second grade, and it was covered by Blacktown Cricket.
I think he backed up the week after against Easts at Waverley as well.
Oh, Doonan. He's hit straight to slip. Oh, what? I would have left it if I was Crawford there. I was going towards the stumps, but they pick up another single. That's the over from
That
Crawford.
was right in our line there, Jacko. That was taking middle out halfway up. I think Tim could have been in a bit of strife there if he let it go.
It would have been interesting. They might have gone upstairs, though, I think.
Yeah, we would have given him not out, but
Yeah, well, it would have been a no-brainer. We've got to change of bowling here. Excuse me, mate. Do you know who's bowling? Do you know who this is bowling? Leighton? Leggy? Jack Colley. It's gonna be Jack Colley.
temperatures definitely dropped a few degrees here, Jacko, and Doonan's dispatched the vest. I think he's ready to go. Jack Colley on at the Hanshore end.
It's changed its name twice so far over the course of the day.
I think there'll be a few yet.
They pick up another single. Well done by Doonan there. They're the singles that count, the ones we were talking about, just those ones just pushing into the gaps, taking the fielders on, checking if they're on their toes. Not sure what Jack Colley's actually bowling. I think they're either fast off spinners or little slow meds, and it could be the go here on this wicket. He's just got to keep it nice and straight, I think, straight and full. I pick up another single to the man at point.
That's the fourth time I can count so far in this innings, Jacko, that they've got to run either straight to this fielder at point or slightly to the left or right of him. He doesn't seem as agile as some of the other fielders.
I'd say
I think they're picking him out.
This time, point.
And he makes me look like an absolute douchebag.
You're a bit harsh on the old point. I think he's a little bit deep. I think that's his problem. I'd have him in a couple of steps, or even walking in a little bit harder. He's quite flat-footed. Oh, this
tried to
time.
go a bit quicker and dug that in a bit too short.
And it's a boundary.
Pulled through for 4.
Good shot by Tim Doonan.
Yeah, in saying that, Jacko, too, this is the most least agile fielder ever to play the game myself, giving it to somebody. So, what do they say about glass houses?
It's a bit harsh on yourself there, Matty. I've known a lot of players, especially in the lower grades. I've seen some very non-agile players, as Doon strikes this one down to long on for a single.
That would have been a line drive in baseball, that one there. Didn't quite time it right, but still nonetheless hit it quite flat and hard.
Skillback back on.
Score 2 for 60 here.
Turnover's gone and Skillback's back on from the far end.
So that projected total, halfway mark, 2 for 60, looking at scoring 120. So what looked like a good score of 120 might have to be readjusted.
Oh, good
Lovely
ball. Skillback straight back onto it, just outside off stump. Gets Tim
Perfect
Doonan.
length there.
Doonan noodling away just outside off stump. Yeah, as you say, halfway point, 2 for 60. We did predict early that 120 would be a good total. I think Coach Lowe would probably want 140 now. It's being 2 down and having Hinton set and Doonan slowly getting there. I think 140 will be very, very hard to chase down, especially as this weather progresses. Oh, it's going to be a tight one. Not
That's
out.
Really well run there by Hinton. He called early, put his head down, and was always going. Well done, Nathan.
That's what you got to do in these games. He was backing up. He was probably 3 or 4 steps down already, and he gets through. Yeah, an abundance of first graders this Blacktown side, and they're blessed with having the youth on their side in their first grade side, which generates quite a strong lineup in the Provident Grey Shield.
Well, if you looked at the average age of the first grade team, if you took out Captain Tony Clark, who I think increases the average age by about 45, it is a very young squad.
Hinton strikes straight to mid-on, takes him on, and not a bad single there.
Didn't quite get that, Jacko. He just tried to drive it through cover, but got it a bit straighter than what he would have liked.
I think the miss hit assisted him in getting that single. If he hit it too well, taking on mid-off would have been a tough call. So Doonan on strike to Skillback, who so far has been my pick of the bowlers for Gordon. Doonan goes straight, and there's a man out there, and it's taken. So Doonan, I think he went a little bit half-hearted on that one, and it's caught it long on. And Skillback gets the reward again. He's been bowling well today and takes another one.
It's a well-deserved wicket there. I think Tim Doonan, if he had one of the new bats from Blacktown sponsor Blade Technology, who have a innovative new bat that has a huge scoop to it, would have allowed him to get a bit more under that and would have cleared that fielder. For anyone that would like to look at Blade Technology bats, look at bladetechnology.com.au. Speak to Randika.
Not a bad little plug there for Blade.
I'm on the payroll, I think.
I'm sure Spartan wouldn't be happy about that, but Tim Doonan leaves the field, and now skipper Nathan Souter makes his way out there, I think.
Nathan Souter, one of the more pesty players that I've ever had the pleasure to play with. He weighs about 3 kilos ringing wet and is probably the angriest man I've ever met.
He really does love his cricket, and I think he'd play, if his last day on earth was proposed to him, I think he'd ask for a net or maybe a game of cricket. So he's out there, and he'll relish these conditions.
I think in the player profiles online, he's the perfect day. He said Sarah Coit bowling at him in the net. So
Hinton comes back. Hinton's been running well today, and he picks up another 2.
Very quick between wickets, Nathan Hinton.
So too is Souter. So this is where the middle overs, you need those quick singles. You need to pick up those 2s where they're just 1s, and they do make the difference later on. And I think with these 2 out at the crease, we will see the deep fielders taken on. Hinton pushes to point.
The main problem with Blacktown's batting in the T20 format is that they tend to score at a decent enough pace, but they don't really have a lot of wickets in the bank when it comes to the last 5 overs. Today, with only 3 out, it gives them a good platform to launch these last 5 overs, especially the way Hinton's hitting the ball.
Yeah, still 9 overs to go. I think they've still got a couple more overs of nudging around those ones and twos, and the field's set pretty deep, and they've only got a couple around the ring, so taking on those deep fielders for twos for now, and then keep those 7 wickets in hand would be nice. Souter pushes away. They'll just get one. 45 picks it up and reels it in.
Collie back on bowling his quick little darts.
Yeah, let's see how Collie goes this over. I think he just needs to get in, go stump to stump. Really tie down this Blacktown side.
He's pulling the length up a little bit, so Blacktown haven't got anything to drive. They're just turning everything square. If they can pick up a single each ball like this for the next 4 overs or so, not lose any wickets, and that'll give them the chance to really go large those last 5 overs.
Yeah, set up that launching pad for the last few, and
another really well run single there by Nathan Hinton, calling Nathan Souter through early. If you look at the Blacktown batting lineup as well, they do have some serious strike power still to come in. Still got the likes of Blake Cousins, Dalloway, Gouchy, McCartan. Jordan Gouchy, one of the future stars of Blacktown. Only a very young bloke, still
Green Shield eligible, yeah.
Yeah, still playing greenies, playing PGs, second grade when he can, and on a scholarship at a GPS school. World's at his feet. Yeah, Jordan Gouchy, another player that's sponsored by Blade Technology, as we mentioned earlier. Glowing endorsement of their products.
Picked up by short mid wicket there, and that's the over. So Collie gets away with it there.
It's been relatively economical.
Yeah, he's restricted his boundaries, Collie, and that's what you need to do in those middle overs. But I think he needs to be backed up by his ring fielders and his deep fielders, and
would be tricky bowling conditions as well, ripping down the side of the ball in these damp conditions.
So change a bowler at the far end again. Regan Klemp's going to come on.
Yeah, Regan's one of the up and comers you were saying before, Jacko. Can you tell us a bit about his background?
Yeah, he's not a bad bowler. Let's see how he goes here. He's coming in.
Ooh. He's a great bowler.
So fast.
Full toss down leg side. It's a good start.
They'll pick up 2.
So what is it that drew you to his bowling, Jacko?
Yeah, I think he bowls similar to me. You know, he keeps it nice and full, and not many of you'd know, my last over in grade cricket was actually 7 full tosses, and one of the better ones hit the keeper on the full baseball style. So, Clem, good delivery, outside off stump. That's where he needs to be. Yeah, it was a wet day that day as well. I'll tell you, Matt, right now, very wet conditions, and they threw me the ball. They said, you know, you've played ones before. This was in 3rd grade, and you know, it didn't end well for me. And some say that ruined my career. As Souter takes on a single straight to me wicket. They're the ones that they've got to start stopping, Gordon.
If Blacktown keep going along at this pace and just picking up these singles and getting the occasional boundary or 6, they're going to post a very, very good total, and in these conditions could be pretty tough for Gordon to chase down.
Another well-struck shot down the deep cover. Matt, would you say the Duckworth-Lewis system favours the team batting first or batting second if it comes into play in the second innings?
I could give you an answer, Jacko, but it'd be a lie because I have absolutely no idea how it works. It's too complicated for my simple mind.
I'm just trying to stitch you up like you stitched me up earlier with the Klempt comment, but in he comes again. Ooh.
Well, Souter advancing down the wicket. He doesn't mind doing that, Souter, does he?
The way we've been going, I think Foster's had about 6 chances. I think we still think he's out there, and as Souter does pick up another good single, and Hinton backing up, just nudges it to point. Like he said, you're not a fan of that point fielder. He's probably how many runs do you reckon he's cost him now?
400.
Very harsh. Oh, brilliant shot. Hinton punches down the ground. Souter comes back. That's great.
Suicide run, but a bad throw has saved him there.
That's what you got to do in these wet conditions. It's hard to pick up and release and get it flat over the stumps. And Souter's realised that and really taken on these deep fielders, picking up the 1s and 2s where they can. And I think that'll make the difference in the last 5.
He's got a strange running style, Souter. After he goes for a quick single, he rocks side to side like a 84-year-old man.
He does. Some say he's the Benjamin Buttons of grade cricket. He just looks like he's about 80 years old out there, and he's a bit hunched over. And as they come into bowl, Collie again. That was a.
He's dead set pulled that behind square from 4 foot outside of stump.
That was a 1970s style shot. Just flicked it off, probably middle. Somehow
it was very reminiscent of Blacktown, very much lower grader Curtis Lucas. He has one shot, and that's sort of over mid wicket or behind square, and just whips everything. Didn't quite get that. He's calling to the crowd for some new gloves. It's a bit wet out there. It's been consistent light rain for the last couple of overs, Jacko.
Yeah. Good shot down to deep square leg. Yeah, we haven't seen a bat go flying yet, so hopefully they take a while with these gloves and we can see a bat go through the air over mid wicket. That'd be nice. He really wants those gloves. He's almost trying to stop the umpire mid over. He's saying to the umpire, "I need those gloves now. If I face one more." There's an excuse. There's always a cover excuse just in case he does get out this over. He will blame it on the gloves. I'm sure of it. Souter goes high. This is very high. There's 3 fielders under it. Oh, very good
well
catch.
Catch there.
Well, I don't know why deep square legs caught it when it's gone straight to the guy at short square leg, but
that's
Souter's
actually
out.
The gentleman that was fielding at point. They've moved him out to square leg, and yet again, just really not stepping up when it comes to the field. And that fielder, if you watch this at some further point, Daniel Jackson is my name, 0418.
It's actually Matt Mortimer, secretary. Look his details up on the Blacktown website. So Souter goes.
Very disappointed.
Scoring one.
Souter.
Skipper. But it brings Grant McCartan to the crease, who, once again, another first grader, batting at 6. And
it's actually a 4th grader, Jacko.
Is he really? Grant?
Played 4th grade yesterday.
Why is that?
Something about an exam. I don't know. No, he's got an exam coming up next week, and with the hours of first grade cricket, it sort of made it impossible for him to play there. So by playing only in the afternoon, he could fill in. So he got a very rare chance to play with his younger brother. So it was Sponge and Chucks playing together.
I like to say. I like to call the people by the highest grade they've ever played, so that's why I still call myself a first grader. Gives me that luxury.
What am I then, Jacko?
Well, what was the highest standard you played?
It was just an open opportunity to slam me there.
No,
I've just said 6s.
I don't know, mate. You tell me. Squeeze straight to a short third man.
Collie's quick offies have been quite effective so far. They've just been skidding through. Hard to get away.
Hinton's got his gloves. A much needed change there. They're probably quite wet from a mixture of sweat and water and moisture from the air. And it has consistently been raining for a good 5 overs now. And good signs from the umpires just braving this weather and staying out there for the sake of it.
good to see Sanjay Parasha bringing him out some new gloves and some very pretty ruby red thongs by the looks of it.
No, they're not thongs. They're actually Nike Airs. No, Nike Free Runs, sorry.
Who's getting the plugs in now?
Great. Oh, a bit more money sent my way from Nike rather than Blade, but if only. Nike, if you're out there, let me know. I'll let you know the details later on for my bank account.
Change of bowler here. Looks like another spin bowler. Leighton, I believe it is, isn't it, Jacko? Very loopy.
Great
there.
shot.
A beautiful shot. Pierce's
Backward a point.
fielder and backward a point and 4 runs all the way.
Another boundary for Hinton. I wouldn't mind finding out what he was on.
If you look at your scorecard there, Jacko, you'd probably be able to count them. Just take your shoes and socks off. Hinton looking to get a half century here.
He's not far off, I heard. He's getting close now, and
well, there's been a discrepancy with the scores, so he's either way he needs to, that will be
there. It is. There's 50.
Well batted there, Nathan Hinton. Not a glorious shot to bring it up, but nonetheless, they're all runs and they all count on the scoreboard.
And a very. What kind of celebration would you call that? Just a little wave to the crowd.
As
very low key.
It was as damp as the weather.
Oh, it was very damp. It was
brought that 50 up with the Daniel Jackson cover drive.
Chipped down the ground by Sponge, and they'll pick up 2. And almost a direct hit from the day. That would have had Hinton for sure, but just misses the stance.
Yeah, I think he would have had to do the round trip all the way back then. If it was a good throw.
Matty, I'll tell you what, this weather, the breeze is coming straight at us. I'm not wearing any shoes. My feet are freezing. Monday-itis tomorrow for sure, I think, is a no-brainer. Been sick for about a month. This is just going to add to it.
It's because you work with children, mate.
I do, sometimes. Oh. Wide given.
Wide called there.
Just slipped past the keeper. So I pick up another single as well. Yep. The rain's starting to hit me in the eye, just under the marquee that we're in. It's just sneaking under, getting me in the eye. Might need the safety goggles up here. Leighton again.
Pretty good marquee here by performance analysis.
And this is
that's a terrible ball that's brought a wicket.
That's probably the worst cricket we've seen today, unfortunately, and it brings to the end a good innings by Hinton. 51.
Look, in the end, he's probably sacrificed his wicket for the betterment of the team. He's tried to go large and really up the run rate. He has laid the platform, and unfortunately he's gotten out. But brings I believe Jordan Gauchi to the crease.
Yeah,
young star I mentioned before, who is an out and out cricketer and very, very capable of scoring runs very quickly.
I think losing Hinton there, I think it's quite crucial actually. Now there's 2 new men at the crease. Not the time you wanted to lose Hinton, especially in these conditions. The last thing you want to do after sitting down in the nice warm under the cover here at Joe Mack, going from that to out there in the wind and the cold. And they've pulled stumps actually, and they've.
Yeah, the Gordon players weren't happy about the weather.
I don't quite understand here. It's probably the calmest it's been in the last 10 overs, and they've decided, oh well, we may as well come off.
I think the wind coming through here. I think my nipples are about to break off. It's that cold,
mate. I'll tell you what, they're almost poking me in the eye, and that's when you're in trouble. That's when you know it's cold.
It's actually a medical condition, Daniel, and I'd appreciate you not bringing it up.
I'm not worried about the 2. I'm worried about the 3rd one trying to get me in the eye. Yep, and Gordon have decided, we may as well help him with the covers.
Seeming as they have to bat second, I think that's probably a good idea there, Jacko. It has actually now stopped, and they're coming off. It's very strange.
There's a couple of them actually complaining of possible pneumonia.
Yeah, Captain Souter out there with his arms out. He dead set has his arms up more times than Steve Maddow.
Oh, I don't blame you. This isn't good.
It's farcical.
It honestly is the calmest it's been. I think the rain stopped and the winds picked up, but
They've actually decided not to take the covers on here.
well, I think they should just make up their mind. It's
Souter going over to Winge again. Look at those palms up constantly.
He's not happy at all, and I think actually we've got a little bit of it's just coming through now. The stump cam mic. Souter's saying, "Why are we going off now? It's not even raining anymore." And he's pointing at both ends. He's saying it's not even that wet. So
I think he's trying to point out the skide shot that he got himself out on. He thought was a front foot no ball.
He's saying it wasn't out, and
He said.
It looked a pretty clean catch to me, actually. So they're going to put the wet cover on. It's a great decision, I think.
Big shout out to Nathan's personal sponsor, Kleenex Tissues. When you have a tear, reach for a Kleenex.
If anyone has a pair of socks that they can donate me, my feet are freezing up here. The thongs were a bad choice. William Souter, hands in the air.
That's where Nathan obviously gets it from.
Yeah, it was a very similar look. His
very
palms in the air. Clubman of the Year 5 years running. Looking to do it again.
Such a proud Clubman of the Year. His trophy adorns the bench at the back of Joe McAleer Oval, and still hasn't taken it home.
Look at what? I kicked that and it went just stopped.
That's great work there. The cover's been taken out, brought to the pitch, and taken back off.
Makes perfect sense with this weather. Best we've seen it so far.
President Steve Foster's out there helping. I think his purpose of helping out there was to try and get his head on TV. He does rate himself as a bit of a good sort.
Steve Foster and Sons, if you need a used car.
Yeah, speaking of Steve Foster and Sons, the sign's down the end of the field for Steve's coughing up $10,000 if anyone can hit the Steve Foster and Sons signs.
Yeah, unfortunately those signs haven't been erected today, which is a shame. Back to Willie Souter, actually. It's strange how he's won the Clubman of the Year so many times that they've named the award the Willie Souter Clubman of the Year. So it makes it tough when he goes up to get it every year. So the stumps are back out there. Umpires are back out there. We're just waiting for a few players to go out there and we can finish these last few overs. Camera's back up erected.
We can see
Matt Mortimer's erected.
Well, you know me, Jacko. I get excited about cricket. What can I say?
That was just the nipples, though, guys.
Yet again, medical condition, mate.
Look at me bloody stats. They're gone. I've mixed them all up.
One drink.
I need to keep that.
And the Stags take the field back on again. And it won't be long till the next ball's bowled. Well, I don't think there would have been any time lost in the short period that they were off. So batsmen, fielders, bowlers all need to reset and try to finish off these last couple of overs.
Yeah, camera's fine. Just, you can't really, when you're getting the drop sort of hanging on it, it just looks a bit.
Do you guys do heaps of footy games up there?
Yeah, we do loads.
Awesome, eh? It's
Yeah.
good, eh? Great combo.
Mate, it's a really good comp.
Yeah.
They're,
Is it still called the...
Get his mug on telly.
Mate, they do say I've got a head for radio, so I don't know if that's a compliment or I'm not quite sure. Come up here. I'll get a score update. Dunes. Sorry. Coach, what's the score update, man? The score update? Thanks, man.
we need to get some monitors.
Sorry?
So you can turn them on and off yourself. That way you can control it, He winds up in the end now.
5 for 87 off 15. Yeah, thanks, man. Alright? Yeah, it's good, man. Should we get him on for a bit? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 5 for 87 off 15.
Sound alright? Go get a chair. You don't want to come? Yeah, come.
You just nod me.
5 for 80 what? 7 or 14 or 15?
This will be the 15th.
I think that's 15 gone and 5 for 87.
To welcome Blacktown skipper Nathan Souter into the commentary box here. Nathan, bit disappointed with that dismissal?
Yeah, I just tried to hoid over that short boundary and just missed it. Got a bit under it.
The stump effects mic, when you were just talking to the umpire out there, we picked it up and you were sort of stating your case that you thought the bowler bowled a front foot no ball. Is that correct?
No, it wasn't that. It's just the duty of care out there. He reckons it's a bit slippery because it was raining. I just told him he was a bit wrong there.
Yeah, that's true, because when it does rain, it isn't wet, is it?
No, that was it.
What do you think the par score is for today?
Probably run a ball, 120 we'll be looking at, and bowl well with our bowlers and do our job in the field, and we should be right in there.
Do you think with 5 overs to go, you're a good chance of getting a bit more than 120?
I hope so, but with this duty of care these umpires are trying to play, I don't think we might not get there.
Misfield by point.
Save the run, though. Save the run. Points redeeming himself after a few early jitters for the first 15 overs, according to Matt Mortimer. I think the driest it's been today was when you were off the field. Would you agree with that, Nathan?
Yeah, I probably would, to be fair. We waited for 10 minutes, and now we're going to cop all the rain.
Just a word of warning, Nath. When you speak to a microphone, you need to have it near your mouth before you talk.
Well, you need to be a bit quicker with that mic and get it to me.
Well played.
Gouchy pushes down to short square, backward to square for a single.
And it's absolutely coming down in buckets full now.
I think they might stay on, though. I don't know. They've made the decision they're going to go get the covers again.
Thanks for joining us, Nath. Good luck for the rest of the day. Don't trip over that bottom lip.
Yep. Gordon are actually going to help this time, and they're going to get the covers on. And a bit of the coach wasn't happy with me there. He's popped his head out. And so have a look at it. William Souter is running with the Hessian. This could be the day, Matt. I think it looks like it's settled in, this rain. And unfortunately, a good game was on our hands. And
This could be the downpour.
yeah, this could be the one they've been talking about all week, the downpour. They say when it rains, it pours here at Joe Mack, and it's looking that way now.
Yeah, the way the wind's blowing, it looks pretty bleak out towards the east, southeast. and it's absolutely coming down in leaders full off the lovely marquee by virtual performance analysis here.
I'd watch your iPad there, Matt. It's getting a bit moist. There we go.
And the wind's getting under those covers too. Reminds me of a time, actually, Captain Nathan Souter, when he was standing near a cover when a gust of wind come under it when he was a younger fella, and it sent him about 3 or 4 metres into the air.
Missing for 2 days, I heard.
Bit of wind got behind his ears, and it was at Whalen, and I think he was found some point later that day at St Mary's.
What time's first grade start? 2:30. There might be a chance.